Great to see you. You have covered a lot of morning skates in your career. How unique was today?
Well, I would say the last couple of days have been very unique, Sid. Just overall, a real heaviness around it, as you can imagine, a real heaviness across the entire sporting landscape. I don't know as though this is a hockey thing, a football thing. This is really a feeling like a societal thing right now, and this is obviously something that it's impacting an entire organization and throughout all of the National Hockey League. But really, this has been very unique from a standpoint of, you know, if it were about wins and losses, you'd have a quicker decision. I heard you just a moment ago, and certainly the legal aspect of this is one where it needs due diligence, and there is a number of layers into this entire situation that have to be looked into.
I just wonder, Ryan, if, look, the Flames were slumping before this. Bill Peters has how much time left on his contract to the end of this season and next?
End of this year and next year, yeah.
Write the check. Pay him. Forget the firing with cause. Just fire him, pay him out, and on you go. And I'm not. Maybe what am I missing?
Well,
why not go down that road?
That's a little too simplistic. It might be a little too simplistic, Arash, just for the simple nature of a few days prior to this incident, the general manager gave his endorsement. And he put the blame on himself in terms of the team performance. Said the coaching staff isn't going anywhere. Yeah, there's no saviors coming. Star players were not going to be traded away. He started, you want to point the finger, start with me, I've got to be better. You may remember that endorsement for the coaching staff. This is a coach who, you know, led this team to 107 points rather last year. And so when you start to add all that up, that's a tough case. But the reality is this isn't about wins and losses, and this is about more than that. So it's not just cut a check. It has to really involve a lot of things when you start talking about what it might take in this unique situation.
Ryan, I mean, I'm sure you have been on the phone with a lot of people back home in Calgary over the last 48 hours, colleagues, radio shows, friends of yours. You've been on this a lot. I'm curious, from an outsider looking into that market, how is the story playing in Calgary?
Well, I mean, we've been on the road for so long, I almost forget where Calgary is. But the reality is that it's heavy everywhere, and it's a Canadian market. It is not good back there at all, as you would imagine. It's not good here in Buffalo. It's not good in Toronto. It's not good anywhere when it involves something like this. It's personal. It's you know, something that affects so many in so many different ways. The one thing I know is that there's frustration, there's anger, there's sensitivity, there's a delicacy to it. It doesn't matter what you say on this topic. I noticed the tweet come out about this appearance and this topic on this show, and the vitriol is everywhere. So it doesn't matter how we're talking about this or how people feel about it. There are so many people who want to weigh in on this that it just continues to snowball, it continues to grow, and I think everybody wants to look at hockey as a way to kind of get back into why they love either the sport, this job, but unfortunately real life creeps in, and everybody's got an opinion. And so Calgary's no different than anywhere else on this topic. I think it transcends a market, certainly a sport, and any type of landscape. It's heavy everywhere, and I hate to keep using that word, but that's really how it feels.
What's been the reaction, Ryan, that stood out the most to you from a player or anybody involved in the game?
Well, the reactions have been pretty I'm not sure of the word, Arash. The reactions have been very focused, shall we say. They are trying to insulate that dressing room. Jeff Ward said it this morning. The players echoed that. They're focused on this game. That's all they can do at this point, and they have to kind of watch from afar as well. They're aware of what's going on, no doubt. They're plugged into it, but they really have to remain focused, as any athlete would, on trying to prepare for what's in front of them. So they've got to get back on track. They had a win in Philadelphia. They picked up a single point rather in Philadelphia, in Pittsburgh, excuse me. 3 points out of a possible 4 in their last 2 games. They're trying to generate some momentum. They're trying to block out all of the noise. Easier said than done, especially with the social media tools, but they're aware of what's going on, and yet they're trying to play for one another. And obviously they want to try and get a win here tonight before they head back to Calgary, and certainly there'll be more scrutiny there, there'll be more media there, and likely some more news there as this thing unfolds. It's a scheduled day off on Thursday for the Flames. I don't know what that will mean in terms of this ongoing saga. Very fluid, with no real set timeline at this point.
I mean, the three of us have been in this business a while. A scheduled day off at times is maybe a day where you send out a press release. Is maybe a day where you make an announcement. I don't know. Listen, it's a fluid situation, but I think it's extremely relevant, Ryan, that you tell us the schedule for the team coming up, just so we can try and maybe map some of this out over the next 48 hours. Ryan, the other thing I want to ask about are the guys in the room, and Mark Giordano, the captain, the assistants. This is where they kind of earn their money, right? This is where you gotta lead, and some things need to be said in that room, and you have to try and clear your head and play a hockey game.
Yeah, I kind of like what Arash said a moment ago about, maybe using this as a rallying point, and you hope that can be the case in terms of whatever it takes. They just had TJ Brody come back. He collapsed on ice a couple of weeks ago. He's back in the lineup. So, that meant a lot to that room. This is one where they don't know. There is no certainty. It's not like welcoming a teammate back. This is a situation that can leave one rattled. So you wonder if that leadership group can really dig in with these guys. It appears so. They're kind of isolated a little bit. There hasn't been a ton of on ice. We've been here for what seems like a week, but it's been a couple of days here in Buffalo. So this leadership group has had a chance to chat about it, meet with it, and kind of realize that, all right, there's a lot going on outside of the locker room. I can't speak to what's been said, but in speaking to some of these guys, I know the focus. I know they're trying to keep it light, and at this point, I think that's all they can do.
Ryan Leslie of Sportsnet joining us live from Buffalo.